I'm so happy now that Tinubu has no path to the presidency. In the next 2027 election, he has no path to victory. It's something that, people who I do strategy will tell you, don't come to the TV and say it, don't come to public square. Where's the path to presidency? The North that gave him 60% are very angry. They're suffering. He has kept them, he has abandoned them to insecurity. He has not even visited them to tell them thank you or visit them to console them for the loss of life. The North is very angry. The North, the extreme, from Katsina, Sokoto, they're angry. So where is he going to get vote from there? He's not going to win Kano. We are going to win Kano. For Peter Obi, where I say this, people should not blame me that I talk about strategy in the public. But I say this because I need to give confidence to those who believe in our process. Because in the 2023 election, do you know that Peter Obi came second in Bayelsa? He's not going to come second in Bayelsa again. He's going to win Bayelsa. Because we are supporting Bayelsans. We are working with Bayelsans to be able to give a new democratic institution to Bayelsa.
But the governor is in APC.
The governor is in APC. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. It's not going to happen. Is the governor more powerful than the Cherokee Dixie? Is he more powerful than all the people that are there? No, the governor does not make the power block alone. The power block within a state is shared. Don't forget. It's shared. It's shared by a lot of gatekeepers. So don't let anybody, delude themselves and say, the leader of our party is not going to make every victory in the state. He will. In Kano, we weren't making any road in Kano at all, sir. Today in Kano, we have one of the most experienced and most acknowledged, most loved political leader in the north, Kwankwaso, in Kano.
Welcome to Niger Unfiltered, a SYMFONI podcast. Hi, Chief Peter Ameh is our guest. Good to have you on the program.
Pleasure to be with you.
All right, let's start simply. Did you get the NDC ticket? And if you did, in which area and which platform?
Yes, I want to be able to thank the leaders of our party and all those who supported me. I got the NDC ticket. I'm running for Senate for Kogi East Senatorial District for the 2027 election. I've just submitted my nomination form and every other thing, so it's left for the uploading to be done by INEC.
Of course, when you talk about every other thing, we learned how much did you pay for development fee? We learned there are development fees being paid.
I think there are a lot of things people try to misinform the public about. The development fee was not a development. It was people who really want to support the party, who will support the party with whatever they have. There are people who could support the party with 1 billion, with 2 billion. It is the way your resources, you think you have the capacity to support the party. Because if you believe in the party, you should be able to want to do everything to promote. Political party management is costly, especially when it comes to campaign. So people supported the party willingly, but maybe they did it for their own reason, and because they didn't get the ticket, they are trying to turn it upside down against the party to blackmail the party and then do others. For me, I paid my membership due. The ticket money was with the money for the expression of interest form as published by the party, and the money for the nomination form as published by the party, I paid. And the primaries were conducted, I won, and the party has acknowledged all that. And I think the party is just a very fair party, and the leadership is doing everything possible, especially for a party that is just 4 months or how many months old. So I think what we should do as Nigerians is when it's our turn, we should be able to, clap for others and then see how much we can do to make sure that this young party where, people with character, people with competence like Peter Obi and Kwankwaso have joined, should be given all the benefit of the doubt to, campaign sincerely without any attempt to throw the spina in the wheel of their progress.
Let's ask, how much did you pay? Because Kenneth Okonkwo also insinuated that people pay 10 million and all of that. So how much did you pay in terms of supporting the party?
I paid my membership due. Membership due is different. I paid membership due, which is about 1,000 naira per this thing. Nobody in the party forced anybody to donate any money. That's the truth. When somebody is concentrating on the party that is not a member, it's like an interloper. An interloper that is busybody. Because they are a member of a political party. And you are not canvassing and not promoting your party. You are concentrating on an opposition political party that is not in power. Then there's something wrong. I've been in opposition for more than 23 years. And what I do is to sell the party that I'm part of, that I've subscribed to as a member. And then also sell the candidates that I think have the credentials and the capability and the integrity to be able to take Nigeria out of the woods. comparable to who is in power today. That's the kind of politics I play. I think I do not want to come here and then be concentrating on what someone that has been so inconsistent over the years to say. I'm a politician. My record is in public domain. I've never said one thing and reversed it. I've never. Everything I said, I've stood by it. I've never campaigned for a candidate and then insult his opposition and then leave the candidate I praise and then join the person I insulted. I've never done it. Because I believe that everything that has to drive with consistency has to also come with principle. Because principle is upon principle you can build integrity. Because that integrity is very important. Oh, Nigerians don't care. Nigeria cares. Nigerians knows how they judge us. So I paid my membership donation, my membership fee, which is nomination form was 5 million. Nomination form, I did not say what I gave the party. And I paid the special evidence is 3 million, which I paid. So I don't think there's anything here that is more than what a person should do for a party. If I have 1 billion naira, I would donate to the party, if I have. Because I believe in the candidates that they've put on the ballot. Kwankwaso believes in education. He has promoted scholarship for people. He's working so seriously to make sure that Nigerians, invest more in the educational sector to promote the kind of development, technological development we have. Another national cohesion to build up that national system that the north and the south, that divide will be bridged. And you know me as a supporter of Obi for a long time. I can't even remember when I started supporting Obi because of his principles and integrity. Because he's a man that was in private sector that became very successful in private sector, very successful. Because as of 34 years old, Obi was already a chairman of a bank. He was very successful, and then got into government. The first shot at government house, he won. And did not just win. With all the crises that came, he stood by his party and stayed for 8 years. So these are the people, the kind of people I want to be able to stick my neck out for and campaign for Peter Obi come 2027. I'm not here either to disparage any other person or to do anything, but I know I have a market. And that market is sellable market. And that market is Peter Obi. So I'm selling that market and I'm promoting it with every energy that I have. I think that Nigeria deserves a better chance at leadership. Somebody who can really lead this country out of the current mess and crisis that we have found ourselves. Somebody who will be in front of leadership, who will be ready to take the bullet for the people. That is where I have always concentrated my effort, and I think it's the right thing to do. For anybody who believes in this principle or the candidate they are supporting, they should come and promote them.
There are this story that some of your colleagues, NDC, were also asked to go to some places and they felt it was not befitting of them. Do you think in political calculations such things should happen where people are probably advised to go to A and they think they should be in B? How does it help a political party and they...
A or B as how? I need to understand.
Okay, let me be specific. Aisha Willant was asked to, Aisha Yusufu was asked to contest to go forward to the House of Reps, but she opted for the Senate.
Aisha Yusuf is a friend, is a colleague. We attend strategic meeting and discuss issues on how to help Obi to win the election. And I've seen her commitment, and she's somebody, she knows how much I respect her. Even she knows the comment I've written in our group about how she has carried herself. Aisha is somebody that deserves to be supported. But there are internal issues that happen within the party that is beyond even Aisha, neither is it beyond me or Peter Obi. Peter Obi is somebody that never believed in imposition. He doesn't believe in imposition. And Peter Obi has the interest and respect he has for Aisha. It's something that I cannot discuss in the public. It has not diminished in any way. That whether she's running for House of Reps or running for Senate, the way Peter carries her in both private and public is the same respect. So whatever happens at that party level, I've managed political party. I'm not coming here as somebody who joined politics from Nollywood. Nollywood is a very wonderful place. There are a lot of professionals who have succeeded there. Those who have not succeeded have moved there because you can see that even Funke Akindele, a very successful Nollywood entrepreneur. She has films, she has produced films, she has done a lot of things. She's so successful that she contested as deputy governorship candidate of PDP and went back to her business, her second address, her first address there. So what I'm telling you is that I've managed the intricate internal workings of political parties are so complex that party does everything to try to balance power. And if party is their best interest have balanced power, I don't think I should be having crisis with the party. And I think Aisha has acted in the most dignified and most respectful and most accommodating way, even after all the incident had happened. Those are the kind of people that I always have my respect. Those who have not said they have donated money are dragging the party on the floor. Aisha is not dragging the party anyway. She has said that she had done her best. She went to all the wards of the FCT, met all the supporters of the FCT, and she has gone back to tell them thank you for the support they offered her, and that there are other future opportunities that will come, and you don't know what will happen. Maybe that will be the best chance she will ever have.
There's something I've been looking at, and that is the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, who the party members from within forced him to resign. They say, hey, guy, you are not doing the right thing. That's not the way to go. Things are not looking up the way we expected it, and they forced him to resign. But in Nigeria and most African countries, it's like as if we are running a monarchy, where even with the separation of powers, they can't checkmate the president. Rather, they look up before him, everybody is shivering.
We got here by the selfishness of the leaders we elected. The people, the first batch that came in 1999 were so selfish. And since then, this selfishness has been deepened by those who are successive persons who took over from them. Because you can't have a National Assembly with 109 senators, with 360 House of Rep members, and you have House of Assembly across Nigeria, which can hold executive to their words and their promises. The people who have become spineless bootlickers, that they rubber stamp everything that the executive, even to the detriment of their own lives and the detriment of the society upon which they have given birth to keep their children. Then there's a problem, because there's a way somebody is so selfish that he also undermines his own interests. That is where I'm over afraid. Because the National Assembly today, the National Assembly members who are committee of equals cannot elect their own speaker. They can't elect their own Senate president. It has to be said by the presidency who they want to be elected. So you can see how weakened our constitutional democracy has become. And that for those who say that the people have no right to ask President Tinubu to resign, they are lying. President Tinubu has performed so poorly. He has driven Nigeria into poverty. Look at the confusion. Look at what is happening. How many people can afford 3 square meals today? Even 2 square meals is not affordable. Look at the cost of transportation because of his hasty, irresponsible way that the fuel subsidy was removed. Impromptu, without plans, nothing, no foundation. The cost of transportation determines the cost of food, determines the last cost of services. Because if I've come in your house as a plumber to work for you for 5,000 before, and I used to transport for 3,000, you can't tell me if the transportation cost through and flow increased to 5,000, I will still charge you 5,000. There was no thoughtfulness in that policy direction. There was nothing at all. No. He didn't have an economic team to discuss with, and he said, a subsidy is gone. Very responsible thing to do. And you look at that, you want to juxtapose it with the level of the budget they are making. When you have people who are more interested in making luxurious provisions for themselves while they are in power. The presidency is building a solar power plant. He has jettisoned the plan to give light to the people. Over 10 billion, I think somebody said over 15 billion has been invested in independent power plant for the presidency. The presidency is a public institution that does not belong to the president. The presidency and the person individual holding the power are two different entities. So you must be able to know that you are elected to provide for the people. We have not seen the plan or how they want to generate the electricity he claimed he was going to give to us, and that if he cannot provide that electricity within 4 years, he should not be elected. And yet he's already campaigning. So it is this lack of shame, this lack of taking responsibility that have led to people not resigning. They see it as a beholding authority, as a right, that we have been elected, we are the leaders. The President Tinubu asked Jonathan to resign if he cannot provide security. He did it. So we are asking him, I've sent a note outside that he should resign because he can't provide security. He can't provide food security. He can't provide, security for life and property. None of this he has been able to do. The cost of living crisis is, go and see poverty, my brother. You can't imagine it in my constituency, in areas I come from, villages I visited. In Wuse 2 here, I see young men knocking at the windscreen of my car and say, please, sir, with their suit, can I have transport? My children can't feed. That's how bad it is today. This country today, people are eating from waste bin. So, but he's sitting there, secured in the presidential villa, going out with armored vehicle and buying new vehicles for himself, like the beast they bought, like the private jet and all that. So I don't think he has connection to the plight of the people. And I see the insensitivity, even in the response of those who reply on his behalf. So much insensitivity.
All right, let's look at the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has been mocking the NDC publicly, saying it's too small, that they can't even hold primaries without protest. How do you respond to this?
I think some of these, I wonder, because FCT Minister is a lawyer. So I wonder why he see protest as a joke. Protest is fundamental. Even in elementary education, like when you are doing social studies in primary school, they'll tell you what are the ways that you can hold government to account. Protest. They want a situation where we get to where APC have brought us, where the APC government have brought us, where there's criminalized protest. Protest is a way to deepening democratic culture within the party. That there's a protest in the NDC today shows that there's an healthy discussion. Shows that those who are subscribed to the NDC have been given a voice to also hear their grievances. What you should worry about if the party has not created alternative platform to be able to listen to them, to be able to let them hear their grievances. When they come to protest at the national headquarters, talks will start to beat them like the APC does. When you are protesting for anything in Nigeria, there will be a counter protest with their talks. They will have police protection. They will have security agency protection, and they are killing those who are protesting peacefully, breaking their windscreen, throwing stone at them. That is the kind of situation that he felt it should be there. If you talk about the healthiness of the internal workings of the NDC, it's something that he should be proud of. He should be able to take learning from that, because we are not going to be a situation where a party that wants to bring democracy will not allow democracy to thrive internally.
All right, there is the NDC unanimously endorsed Peter Obi as its presidential candidate. But there is this thinking or narrative that Kwankwaso, who for now is in the party and is seen as a potential vice presidential candidate, is banking on 2031 when power supposedly returns to the North. Do you think he's really and fully behind Peter Obi? Your honest opinion.
People are allowed to speculate. And most time, this speculation comes from the APC. Because they are jittery. They are really worried because they were shocked how Kwankwaso, agreed to work with Peter Obi. They have done all the blackmail, they have done all the obstacle crossing and tried to put all the obstruction in the way of the progress of Peter. And Peter has sustained his own progress. Because I'm telling you the reason why APC is panicking. Peter, election was taken in 2023. Peter has remained the number one social discourse, political discourse in Nigeria since 2023. He has maintained that, whether you go to social media, whether you open your paper, whether you go to beer parlor, you go to pub, you go to churches, or you go to mosque. Peter is the center of discussion today. Today, nobody else. So you should know where the reason why they are worried, where it is. For me, I do not want to say Kwankwaso came to want to be 2031. If Peter was not qualified at all to be president, Kwankwaso won't support him, because Kwankwaso is a very experienced politician, very exposed, very enlightened. Kwankwaso was in the House of Reps in 1993. That experiment that failed. He became governor, he became minister. He has done a lot, and he has seen a lot. He knows a lot. He has agreed because because people don't pay attention. Kwankwaso said clearly that in 2023, his daughters came to meet him that he should go and work with Peter. He didn't listen. So it took him time to realize that the things his daughter were saying, after his own personal research, that Peter Obi is the most marketable commodity for the Nigerian people today. He's the only most marketable candidate that can solve the Nigerian crisis today. And he said it in one of his times, that Peter Obi is really a sincere person. So if you have met someone like Peter Obi, and maybe before you do not have interaction, I'm telling you that if 60% of Nigeria meet Peter Obi today, I'm telling you if they have no premeditated decision already taken before arriving, 50% of them will go back agreeing with him if they meet him one-on-one. Because I've never seen somebody who is so disciplined, who is so personally focused in trying to find solution to a problem like Peter Obi. So Kwankwaso is doing this in order to see the opportunity that Nigeria have a government that can actually solve our process, remove corruption from our processes, and bring integrity to governance. And that integrity, it is what a lot of people like us and others have seen in Peter Obi that is generating this panic in the presidency.
A lot of Nigerians think that the president, when I mean the President Tinubu is disconnected from the realities on ground. Let's have your assessment of the president's 3 years in office, especially in the areas of economy, areas of insecurity, and of course, democratic ethos.
For the area of security, Section 14 of our Constitution clearly says that security will be the primary purpose of governance, security and welfare. And if you go to the Section 14.2b, to the Section 14.2, it also says that Nigeria will be practicing democracy and social justice. So this is what the Constitution said. None of these that Tinubu brought to bear on his own governance. He has not displayed any of these characteristics since he got into power. For security, he has failed woefully. It's not me that I'm saying it. It's the people that are saying it. It's the public. Go and do voice properly. Go to the voice of the people is the voice of God. Any day, any time. You can't go to Kogi now. Kogi used to be a place I drive to, Lokoja, and drive by. You can't try it. As I'm talking to you on this morning, you will see a lot of people have been kidnapped and are still in under the kidnappers' den in Kogi West, in Kogi East, in Kogi Central. In Bronu, the military barrack was attacked and soldiers killed. In the military barrack, soldiers were attacked, beheaded. Across Nigeria, people are no longer safe. Farmers can't go to farm. That's why you see the cost of food, along with this policy of fuel subsidy removal, has driven the cost of food out of the reach of the common man. A basket of tomato today is about 170,000 naira. So who is going to afford it? People are eating food today without almost getting close to tomatoes. The basket is about 170,000. Daily Trust report. So when we talk about these things, is that both the economic level, both the security level, Tinubu has failed woefully. There's no how you can get prosperity for the people without security. If you tell people now to go to some part of Plateau to build their houses, they won't. Or to go and that you have built houses that then for them go and live free, they won't go. Because their life will be in danger. And that's why people will tell you that when you have security, people will prosper. Without security, there won't be prosperity. So today in Abuja, I'm telling you, robbery is happening across. I've been in Abuja for more than 30 years. Of the level of kind of robbery I see in Abuja today, I don't see it. The level of kind of robbery and the kind of hunger that is on the street, I've not seen it. So for security, anybody who say Tinubu should be scored 10%, 20% is lying. Because Tinubu went on to Benue. There's no empathy. There's no connection with the victim. It's so insensitive that he had to get a hall dressed up like if they were doing occasion for campaign, spoke to them and said that two of them should try, two people who are fighting should try. It's not two fighting. The people coming to kill people are coming with AK-47. So it's not two fighting. When two fighting is when me and you throw punches at an equal level. He went to Plateau. He did not go to visit. They have to transport some of the victims, the ones whose injury were not that severe, and the ones whose injury were severe were left in the hospital. And he told them that he cannot stay long because the airport has no light. And they can't stay more than 50. He left them. He met them at the airport. So the president that is connected will almost visit these victims. Because if you are president, you must live for the front. You must be willing to also die. Because you are commander-in-chief. You're not just president of the Federal Republic. You are commander-in-chief. So you should be willing to risk your life. And the kind of resources and the military resources at the disposal of the president, which of the bandits will have such resources and come and attack the president wherever the president goes? Even if the president decides to visit Sabusa today, there is enough resources to hold the Sabusa forest stand still for the president to come and go. It is lack of willingness. It is that insensitivity that has embodied him not to even look at a way to pay attention to the crisis of this country. Because he's not visiting anybody. The last time the kidnapping that happened in Oyo State, has he ever gone there? In fact, I saw later.
But he sent representatives.
No. We did not represent. You don't delegate everything. We just delegated authority. But in the presidency and commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic, you delegate the welfare of your people to third party. He should be able to go there to show that he's connected with the Oyo people. The Oyo people, which if he's going to eventually tell them that I'm from Southwest, vote for me, that's what he's going to eventually say. But he cannot even empathize with the family that have lost life, people who were kidnapped, beheaded. So the challenge here is that I even saw later they were sharing campaign vehicle with the wife, and they were not talking about these people. See, we must be very careful how those who lead our public life lead us. And they must also know that Nigeria is coming to a point that we are really worried. We're worried. I'm very worried that the government is not seeing it as something. Security is everything. Everything is security. You can't do anything. Look, if I build a story building for you in Sambisa Forest now to go and live there and do 3-lane road, will you go? You won't go now because there's no security. So that's why life are not flourishing. That's why people are not living well. Our school system is in a bad state. I've not seen the investment he has done with school. Education is poor. Even Asu are very angry. So he has not done anything to. Every time you talk, the presidency want to point you to say the state government have more money. It's the same sharing formula that existed with FAC. So if the state government have more money, the federal government have more, even more money, with 52% share of the money. What have they done with it? We are not seeing anything being done with the money. Schools are not being renovated. Universities are not having new laboratories. They are not the ASU people are not being paid. Contractors that since over 3 years have not been able to get their money. Nigerian local contractors. I know, one thing with market forces is that when local contractors get their money, the Ghanaian president said it, they will go to the market and buy things. People will get money. There will be market money in the circulation. So all this loan, all this everything that they are collecting, I think it's just being used for consumption.
Well, what are your thoughts on the government's handling of democracy? For the first time since the Fourth Republic, we have witnessed instability in political parties, allegedly sponsored by the ruling party. What do you have to say about this, and what are the implications?
I think the implication is that it has made our democracy very, very unstable. It has made the people who no longer have faith in this democracy. People feel that the executive have a way of manipulating elections, have a way of manipulating party participation, have a way of manipulating stability within political parties. Leke Abejide was in ADC. When he defected after creating problem, he went to the APC. Don't forget, it was the APC he went to. So when the former speaker and then chief of staff to the president went to Leke Abejide's wife's birthday, he said, stay there and scatter them. So you look down, these are not democratic ethos. They are supposed to be the kind of democratic ethics that are supposed to be displayed by those who very important position within our governance space. And even the president said, I'm happy if the opposition is in disarray. Yes, you should be happy, but it's not something that you project as a policy. You should be happy because it will help you to win, but it shouldn't be a policy. But you see some of the actions of even the commission. You find out that, look, is there a third hand that is undermining democratic system in Nigeria? Because even with this Justice Lifu's statement of the registration, after parties have conducted primaries and all that, democracy have not really traveled well under this current administration. They were the one who, when they were in the opposition, they talk about a lot of things about government oppression, government this. But today, they are with the power, and they are doing something in reverse, something they preached against. So I think power comes with responsibility, and with great responsibility. Power is not given so that you hold power for the benefit of your family. Power is given so that you use the power for the good of the majority. And that doing that is that you must deepen democratic culture, you must allow the space to expand, you must allow inclusivity, and you must allow people to have free, fair elections. We've not seen free, fair elections. The president have never condemned the vote buying we see, the one we saw in Ekiti. I know that he has never. Neither his spokesman, the only thing the spokesman does is how to reply to Peter Obi tweet. That's only what they do. That's what when Olanduga said we are running a parliamentary system, that Peter Obi was wrong to ask that the president resign. So when did it become parliamentary system? When Jonathan was there, was it not presidential system? It was presidential system, and the president asked Jonathan to resign. Power is a responsibility, it's not a gift. It is a responsibility to do things right. And if you get to there and you cannot do it right, the honorable part is to resign. Where we copy this democracy from, the honorable part is to resign. But holding on to it as if it's a birthright, you are not there to represent a family or represent a tribe. You are there to represent Nigerians. Whether they are in Biras, they are Igalas, they are Idomas, they are Igbos, they are Yorubas, they are Hausas, they are Fulani. Whether they are Birons, whether they are Angas, Igede, anybody, that is where you should hold power for, and you must be fair to all of them. So, as we speak today, democracy is not... Today, people have perception, and this perception is created by people in government. That the next election, you won't go contest with them, the election no go they fail, you no go feel win them. That's the perception they are creating. So if vote does not count, so what are you saying you have deepened democracy? We need to be able to see that their body language does not look as if there's an attempt to rig the 2027 election. And I want them, I'm telling them, the kind of hunger on the street might lead to the way that people might be so angry when you attempt to rig the election. They shouldn't take Nigeria for granted. Nigerians are prepared to save this country. And the only way they can save this country is through a peaceful way, by queuing on the day of election and voting for the candidate of their choice.
Now that you've talked about rigging of elections, many a times the electoral umpire had been dragged into it. Is INEC as an institution fixable? And in addition, we saw 2023 glitches and all that happened. If by any stretch of imagination, INEC is fingered to have compromised the 2027 election, how do you think Nigerians should react?
I don't know why people call 2023 the rigging a glitch. It wasn't a glitch. It was a deliberate act. The official, why couldn't they have the courage to set up an independent body to investigate that? They didn't have the courage because they know that digital footprint is not something you can clean entirely. If they are set up an independent inquiry, for people to look at it, which I suggested to the chairman before leaving office, Yakubu, but they won't do it because they know that what they did was against the interest of what Nigerians went to the polls to vote for. There was against. I am telling you that even from the report of BBC Premium Times about the investigation they did in Rivers State, how Peter Obi won that place. That Peter Obi won the 2023 elections.
What do you think about 2027 election? Is there a scenario where you have reflected that the quest to remove President Tinubu has become difficult?
No, it's not. In fact, I'm so happy now that Tinubu has no path to the presidency. In the next 2027 election, he has no path to victory. It's something that, people who I do strategy will tell you, don't come to the TV and say it. Don't come to public square. Where's the path to presidency? The North that gave him 60% are very angry. They're suffering. He has kept them. He has abandoned them to insecurity. He has not even visited them to tell them thank you or visit them to console them for the loss of life. The North is very angry. The North, the extreme, from Katsina, Sokoto, they're angry. So where is he going to get vote from there? He's not going to win Kano. We are going to win Kano. For Peter Obi, where I say this, people should not blame me that I talk about strategy in the public. But I say this because I need to give confidence to those who believe in our process. Because in the 2023 election, do you know that Peter Obi came second in Bayelsa? He's not going to come second in Bayelsa again. He's going to win Bayelsa. Because we are supporting Bayelsans. We are working with Bayelsans to be able to give a new democratic institution to Bayelsa people. The governor is in APC. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. It's not going to happen. Is the governor more powerful than the Cherokee Dixie? Is he more powerful than all the people that are there? No, the governor does not make the power block alone. The power block within a state is shared. Don't forget. It's shared. It's shared by a lot of gatekeepers. So don't let anybody, delude themselves and say, the leader of our party is not going to make a heavy victory in the state. He will. In Kano, we weren't making any inroad in Kano at all, sir. Today in Kano, we have one of the most experienced and most acknowledged, most loved political leader in the North, Kwankwaso, in Kano. In Adamawa, where we did very well, despite the rigging, we have people like Binani and Co. who are going to be running. So we have made more inroads to where we had no inroads and maintain our stronghold. So I'm telling you that Tinubu and others have no pathway to the presidency. This is a public, that's why you see that they are resorting to insult, to name calling, to harassment, and to intimidation. Because if they leave it on the ballot box, we have maintained all our stronghold in 2023 election. And going into the 2027 election, we are gaining more grounds, more than any political party, more than any candidate. Peter Obi has gained more grounds. They have lost grounds. We have gained. So I'm very confident that Tinubu and his supporters are in panic, including those in the presidency. They are in panic that where is the pathway? I can put the southeast on the ground, put the south-south on the ground, put the north-central on the ground, put some part of northeast on the ground, and tell me which place you think Tinubu is going to win.
So break it down for us. Let's you have your assessment of Obi's likely performance in the 6 geopolitical zones.
I've tried to give you an insight into these things, but I'm not going to be able to do it in a way. People say, Obi is not telling them how he will manage the electricity. He told them in 2023. It's still there. It's on his Twitter page. All the things are there. But there's a way you repeat this too much. These people will come with a document that they have done this in. But I'm telling you that the APC are no inroad. Even in Southwest, I am telling you, Makinde will win Oyo. Makinde will win Oyo. He will defeat them in Oyo. We are going to do well in Oyo too. But he's not going to leave that place for them. And he has stood his ground to try to defend his constitutional right and the right of his people in Oyo State. All those ones people are saying they are coming to TV, Peter Obi say, oh, we are working with the Oba, we are working with this one. It's just panic. Because you don't have to say all this if you know you have the way we are. So that is going to go down to their vote in the Southwest. So I'm going to tell you that, tell me which other places that they are going to win. I'm telling you, Southeast, we will take it. South, we're going to do extremely very well. Except maybe from one state also. We're going to do extremely very well. In last time, we won data by 80%. Today, we might win data with 85 or 90%. You know why? The OVA, the former Deputy Senate President, Magigi, is in the party. He's running for Senate. The former Speaker in Delta State House of Assembly is also running for Senate. The candidate, Chris, is a popular deacon. So we have one more grounds. I tell everybody, please don't panic. Don't listen to them. I can give you the analysis later, but let's get close to the elections and so that we can take them unaware. Because they are in panic mood. I have friends with them. I'm telling you, they're worried. There's no access, there's no path to victory for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There's no path at all.
But there are those who also argue that the NDC is not on ground in most of the northern states. How do you respond to that?
Do you know what people call on ground? I told you people, in 2023, how Obi performed that magic. Obi should be given a placard and given an award for the magic he performed in 2020. Because why? Can I tell you this? We are no candidates in half of the federal constituencies, state constituencies across Nigeria. We didn't have candidates. Labour Party had no candidate. So Obi was only the one selling himself that he got that level and won that election that eventually it was a glitch-driven election. And later we got 6.1 million votes. No candidate across Nigeria. Today, NDC has candidates everywhere. As of assembly, the ticket was like one of the hottest tickets that Nigeria, just like what happened in the Labour Party in 2023. So you should know that the man who carries that mantle is the man they are following. So because why are people rushing for the ticket? The ticket wasn't on the hot sale before then. So we have more opportunity today than we had in 2023. So when you talk about grassroots penetration, those candidates are grassroots penetration. We have candidates in all of the world, all of the state constituencies. We are going to have candidates in almost all the House of Rep constituencies, all the Federal House of Reps, and all the 9 senatorial districts. These are the structure we talk in politics. There's nothing more. And then we have people who are supporting on their own, who are not candidates. And then you have a situation where, look at the North, look at what recently in the last 2 weeks, you go and take a cursory look of the movement of Kwankwaso. He has been to Jigawa. See, we have more opportunity to win. If we don't win this 2023 election, 2027 election, then it will be our fault. But what we have today, it is enough for us to claim victory ahead of time. I'm telling you, we have more opportunity to win the 2027 election than we ever did in 2023. Because now there are candidates everywhere. Now there are big wigs that are almost supporting the party that were not there before. And now Obi himself, Peter Obi himself, is wiser with the antics of those who are in power, who knows how to only what they do is to rig. We're not going to allow that to happen this time. Every vote, the vote of Nigerians must count. And that is our focus. That's all the engineering we are doing, all the strategy we are putting into place is to make sure that Nigerian vote counts. If elections are free and fair, you won't win an election like President Bola Ahmed did in 2023, and there were no celebration across the street of Nigeria. People were mourning. You can go and look at it. People were sad, visibly sad across all region. So when you win an election, you will see that celebratory mood across the country. And I'm telling people today that anybody who is saying that President Bola is well with us and that Nigeria is doing better now under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we should be worried about that person. Because it's the truth. Nobody is doing better. Businesses are closing. No, shops are not working better. Go to the plazas across the country. People are closing their shops. The cost of energy, the cost of transportation, The cost of managing staff is over the roof. So I know, and as an economist, I tell you that small and scale, medium-scale enterprises are the mainstay of any society. So if a government cannot give them that opportunity and cannot create that access to electricity, access to power, access to security, and these businesses are dying, then you find more people in the poverty cycle, which it has always been said that over 140 Nigerians are living in abject poverty. So what has he done? How many people has he moved out of poverty based on the current statistics? There's none. So we can't just be progressing on paper and they'll be giving us statistics that are not reflective of the reality that Nigerians are living in. They are creating an isolated alternative island, a reality that does not exist. And because they are living in a comfortable place with government money, living in the presidency, they should walk the street. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the only one that is not communicating with Nigerians. He's not doing press conference, he's not holding press briefing, he's not talking to anybody, he's not communicating his policy. So we should just be reading his mind. Just like they say we should read Buhari body language. And we read it for 8 years and people almost died. And when he left office and you could read Charles Omole's book, you discover that he wasn't even aware what was happening from the book. Even from the presentation, you read from the book, even from the presentation of his own wife representation in the book, and other people's presentation in the book that said that he didn't want the ministers disturbed. That was the body language he read for 8 years. Nigerians wasted 8 years under Tinubu. Under Buhari, 8 years was wasted because we weren't interrogating them more. We weren't interrogating the government more. Today, I think people are wiser and they are interrogating this government more. And they are asking questions, genuine questions. Are Nigerians living better? Are Nigerians faring better? Are Nigerians' life better than when he got into office? Nigerians are asking genuine questions. And the answers is no, 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 no. The answers are all no. Nothing is doing that is working. Schools are not improving. Education is at the poorest and poorest level that is unimaginable for a country of our size and a country with our resources. How they call it, access to ability to be able to go to places that you want to go to freely without looking for police, without looking for security, it has diminished greatly. People can't try it. Most people who travel in group now to be able to scale and see how they can pass through to their village. Some of the villages are deserted in Kwara and Co. They are deserted villages. So his condition is bad.
All right, talking about prospects and winning, how confident are you about a free and fair election come 2027? Because with even the Ekiti election that we just saw, people are complaining about vote buying, about intimidation, about manipulation of results. We even saw a man on video who wore a face cap of a political party with wads of money in his hands before security agents, and nobody could accost him. And he even gave money to some of the security agents, and they collected. So what gives you confidence that 2027 election will be free and fair to guarantee a candidate to win?
We have told security agencies. I've told them severally on my media publication. I'm a son of a man who served the military. So I know how their plight, has been, exploited by those in power. And they do it deliberately. Where you find out that a soldier who is a corporal, salary, it's a person to become a corporal, in the army, you must have served 8 to 10 years. So the person's salary is about 114,000 naira. It is from this salary he will feed his family, that he will, pay accommodation, sometimes, if he doesn't stay in the barrack. And that you also pay school fees for his kids, 114,000. So this deliberate weaponization of poverty against the security agencies is a problem. Look at the police. You don't find anywhere where the police are giving gadgets, free of charge from federal government budget, where they are giving uniform, where they are giving boots, stockings, giving caps. They are not giving anything. It is from that their meager sums that they receive a salary that they buy all these things to come to work. So they have weaponized poverty against these people in the security agencies. But I'm telling you, when it comes to the interest of this country, at the end of the day, they will be able to come around and say, yes, it's 176,000 polling units. You are not going to have one group of bad egg of policemen across 176,000. And you are going to see a lot of citizens, involvement in the election that will also deter them from taking actions that will be detrimental to our collective good. And for us, the INEC is not doing enough to be able to rein in those who are buying vote. Because we saw even an APC chairman in Edo State wearing an observer cloth to do observer. Jerry Terry, I don't forgotten his name, to do observer in the election, and INEC have not issued any statement to that level. In fact, if INEC is not aware that such thing was going to happen, and if INEC is not aware that the organization that was created for the observer tag to observe the election in Ekiti State, but now that they are aware that organization has been given to an APC person, to an APC chairman, to a publicly known APC member, that we should have seen a statement for INEC suspending that organization from ever participating in the observer mission process for election. But INEC hasn't done anything about that because INEC is trying to act as an accomplice, whether a willing or a forced one, I don't know. But at the end of the day, the action, because action is what people look at. It's not what your statement you write on your Twitter, we are going to conduct free and fair election. Who did that more than Yakubu? Yakubu gave more hope now. How election will be done at the polling unit, how result will be transferred. Yakubu gave more hope. Some parties didn't even want to have agent against them because they felt Yakubu has said it all. Yakubu deceived the people openly. And he was so charismatic about it. Because if he explained it, candidates were so happy. People contested, yes, don't worry, you will not be able to rig. Not only that, Yakubu was part of the game. He was part of the people who were going to defend the glitches that occurred. So this is what happened. So going further, we have seen what they can do. And we have seen that they are going to attempt to buy vote in 170,000 polling units, dipping and into public purse. Because nobody's going to get that money, from his bank account. But I'm not among the people, those group of persons who will tell Nigerians to take money is your money and go and vote. No. You shouldn't take the money. Allow their conscience to continue to suffer with the stolen resources. Because you are taking the money, you are already, reducing their burden by making them feel that everybody in Nigeria is a thief. So you shouldn't take the money. You should allow their conscience to continue to suffer and go and do your vote. No vote in a democracy is wasted. So don't let anybody tell you that there's a particular vote that will be wasted. Oh, don't go and waste your vote. Just like what Umar is saying, the Southeast don't waste your vote. I'm telling you that even a voting strength, the Southeast want to mobilize their voting strength is more than 18 million. Across Nigeria, it's more than 18 million. So they shouldn't be telling anybody to dampen their spirit or to try to play political engineering with them, political mind engineering, by telling them not to waste their vote. They never wasted their vote that time. Their vote for the first time drew attention to the Southeast, to the plot of the Southeast. Their vote for the first time showed that a people committed to integrity, to capacity, and to commercial trade sense of judgment was brought to bear. Because what are we saying? The Nigerians wholeheartedly supported Peter Obi. Peter Obi is one candidate that will always tell you that I don't want to be suspended because I'm an Igbo man. I wanted to be supported based on my competence, my experience, my knowledge, and what I can deliver for the Nigerian people. And Nigerians woke up to that challenge, and Nigeria overwhelmingly supported him. So it's not a Southeast thing. But today we are going into an election of our lifetime. Election that will be able to give Nigeria a solid foundation, that will be able to manage our create a fiscal responsibility environment that Nigerian resources will be used for our people. That theft of public fund will no longer be a culture in Nigeria. Because you need a man with integrity, a man who is satisfied, who is not greedy, to be able to manage. If you cannot handle your reserve to a thief and expect safety, there will be pinching here and there. So we need a man who has proven that is not attracted or interested in stealing public funds. Because nobody in the world, like Peter Obi will say, will not steal what he has control over. He has proven that he's not a thief. And that's why nobody can find anything. He has proven that he's a successful businessman and a manager of people. There are some things that people say that even baffle me. They say, the president had people he has worked with and they are progressing. Progressing with public money. People Peter worked with, some of them were university done. They went back to the university. But some of them are still with him. The SSG is with him. Some of them who want to be politicians. Most of them are successful private entrepreneur. And those who work in public, they went back to their school. Because people are, I saw Shomole talking, Peter is a DC. But he never said that Peter left office and he did not collect pension as he decided to collect government money as pension. Peter never collected pension as former governor. He never. and he never appropriated for such waste of resources. He never took land to say, oh, give me land. Oshimole forgot all that. So these are things he is enjoying after post-government office. So people want to be able to, I'm from Kogi State. I'm an Igala man. And I'm not supporting Peter because he's my tribal man. Because Peter is not my tribal man. He's not an Igala man. He's an Igbo man. But I'm supporting him because I have known him. I know he's morally right. He's ethically, above all standard. Very strong sense of ethics. Very strong sense of, and very disciplined. Whether with money, whether with his character, and whether with his time. He's very disciplined with him. All of these things is discipline. So I've known him to that level to say, look, I will take another of my 4 years and entrust in your hands. And I go about telling everybody who care to listen. Don't tell anybody who is defeated. People who are disappointed, when you meet people who voted for Tinubu and they are disappointed, they say they are all the same thing. No, they are trying to just justify their failure. They are trying to give so-called to themselves and say they are all no, they know that they are not all the same thing. They have tried Tinubu, it hasn't worked. So they shouldn't be telling us they are all the same thing. They should try somebody that will say, if you try me to work, so that let's give him that 4 years he's asking for. He's not even asking for much. He's not even going to be stressing you for second term. He's going to just ask for 4 years. Give him that 4 years so that you cannot just oppose and then do comparison. Comparative, you do analysis and see the 4 years of Tinubu, the 4 years of Buhari, the 4 years of Basanjo, who manage our public resources better so that we cannot have peace.
But there are those who don't believe that for the Southeast, if Obi gets power, then after 4 years, he will give it up. There are those who don't believe that that's likely to happen.
For the Southeast, I assure you that will be 4 years will be comparable to 12 years of service. And you will be proud. It will make history for you. This is not what I should say on air, but I want to say this. We're coming down, and I don't want Nigerians to hold me as a bad person. I just wanted to say this. We're coming down from a meeting, and I told Peter Obi, I said, this 4 year ways they talk. If you just do 4 years now, we'll just do another. He turned back, and I've never seen him so angry with me in my life since I've known him. And told me that you want to destroy my people. There are young people who are going to come from Southeast after I've gone. There are young people, Nigerians, who are going to be of Southeast extraction, that they will tell them that you want to do this, but your brother told us 4 years he didn't do it. That I want to be the one to destroy people's future. That I know 4 years is enough. It took Tinubu 3 years to destroy this country. To bring it to the level of on his news right now that people are almost begging to eat. It took him just 2 to 3 years. That with 4 years, you can repair if you are determined, if you are committed. Peter, we are going to do 4 years. We are going to bring a credible name for the Southeastern people. And it's going to be something that they will use as a platform to continue to run for presidency in Nigeria. That is the kind of vision I have. And that is the kind of vision he wants to stand by. And when he told me that, and I apologize to him for ever suggesting such an idea, because it's somebody that I hold very high, I've learned a lot from him, in politics, especially discipline. I've learned that from him, and I want a situation where I do not want to break that bond that I share with him, especially that he knows that I can be able to, behind him, I'll be able to do what I've learned from him, not that I pretend in his presence. So I apologize on that note of those suggestions, but I know the Southeast will be very proud to have their illustrious son, who is a very credible individual, who is a very responsible man, who is a very disciplined man. But money doesn't move Peter. If money moved Peter, Peter was rich before he was 30. He was rich. The man was in the university who built office for banks to rent. The man was in the university who had a shop in the university. So he has been very productive all his life. He has been very, have a sense of service all his life. So it's not something he's doing at old age. People used to have a proverb in our place that you can't learn left hand at old age. And it's not something he's doing at old age. It's something that he has done as a student, as an individual, as a married man, as a father. He has a culture of discipline among his own children. A culture of very disciplined society, it's different family cycle. So it's something that some of us want to, transfer into our own family life and see how we can bring our children up the way Peter has brought his children up, to be very disciplined and to be very independent. Very independent, and they are not seeing government. In fact, they see government like stress. They just see it. Their father had decided to donate his own life to try to save the country, and they are very supportive, but they are not going to want to come to corridor of power to share in the power, to try to become the lobbyist within the corridor of power. And that's why you will know what he said, that if you are not stealing, your family is not stealing, that you have stopped stealing by 50%. So I think I'm very proud to have associated myself with him. And I think Nigeria should do. And just give him a try. Then at the end of the day, they will come to my house to give me an award for being a marketing agent for a good product.
That's a good one. Finally, if Obi wins, he's still going to work with the same corrupt civil service. He's still going to work with the same Senate, the same governors. What then will change? And what are your fears about 2027 elections?
For me, let me talk about the civil service and the bureaucracy within the civil service. This civil service has been brought to ineffective state because of the lack of justice that does not exist within the civil service. People are promoted based on presidential recommendation, based on the recommendation of governors. It's not based on their what they have done or their capacity to deliver for the country through their knowledge that they have gathered. So this level of promotion that does not go with proper qualification and when somebody not being qualified for promotion, he gets it. You call it special promotion. People become director on recommendation. So this is what has brought the civil service not to perform optimally for the good of the Nigerian people. So, and if you look at what Peter did even while he was governor, is that he allowed the civil service to flourish. And when you allow the civil society to flourish and people get their promotion, their allowance as a when due, and they see that there's a level playing field for everybody, then you see Nigerian civil service was one of the best, whether in the First Republic, during the Philippines, all the Asiodu, all this time. Nigerian civil service was the best all over the world. We were super permanent secretaries that know what they would do, that know what to do, even to challenge those in power and say, Minister, this one, what you are doing is not right. But it was politicized during this long period of, these are especially Fourth Republic, where you find out somebody, I've been here, somebody was given level 14, and within 2 years he became a permanent secretary. I've seen it, he became a permanent secretary. So such level of jump, we demoralize the people who have joined from the cadre, from the graduate level, hoping that one day they will get to the level of permanent secretary. So we should be able to institutionalize this process that reward competence, reward capability and qualification, rather than reward based on political consideration. So these are the things that have affected our civil service. And today, the Nigerian civil service does not even have a way to say. They don't have proper accommodation. The federal housing system does not accommodate them. Still, the federal housing system that's supposed to be meant for the low-class worker, whether they're in private sector or public service, is still meant for the rich people. Are the one buying the federal housing authority buildings. So it's out of the reach of the civil servant. So when you create this level and you reduce and accommodate them, the need way to accommodate them, make sure that the transportation buses that will take them home are well furnished. Air conditioned, driven cars, and they have access to loan that they can use to buy their own car and pay during the duration of their service. They can look. There was a time Nigerian Army had what they call post-army housing scheme. If you are in the army, you get the loan. You can build a house in your state capital where you want, so that you pay before you retire. You go and meet a house. But when you are now allowing those things not to work, and those post-housing schemes, whether in the Navy, whether in the Air Force and in the Army, are now being sold to the highest bidder. So even the soldiers does not have access to such scheme. The same thing so that is why this corruption is getting deepened, and the people are not interested in trying to work for the good of the people. So when Peter comes, I'm very sure that there will be fair play, level playing field created for everybody who will be in the civil service. There will be opportunity created for people to be able to go for courses, and the opportunity today people lobby to just go for course. You have to lobby to go for a civil service course. You have to lobby to get promoted. So the level, the respect for dignity of labor have been taken away by some of these things that are happening in our political circle. That everything has to be done through political consideration. So that is what I know he will not allow to be done. Because even those of us I work with him, I couldn't just say when they are campaigning, I go and take two candidates and say, okay, this candidate, you have to pass them in. You can't try that. You know him. You have to go through the fair process. That's what. And for the 2027 election, I believe it's an opportunity for Nigerians to rescue this country. I really believe it with all my heart. I won't be here if I don't believe it. I'm a person that I cannot. If I travel to London, I can't stay for 1 week. If I travel to America, I can't stay. I love this country. It's a passion that have driven me over the years. I don't see people think that saying opposition is It's a sweet thing. It's one of the most difficult things you can ever do because you just have to just join the government. They can give you SA, they can give you special advisor, they can make you commissioner, they can make you minister. So what? You get salary and get benefit. That's all you get. But you can't run under a government that is not providing for the people while you are being provided for. You are not safe. So we need to understand that the opposition is not something that we're doing it because we're happy. We're doing it because we're looking for a candidate, and we'll be assured that at the end of that service, we would have served the general interest of the people to a point that we walk our head high, that even in our grave, songs will be sung about us. That is what we want, and that's what we're standing for.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure always having you around.
It's a pleasure to be here.